Well, hello, you beautiful people. This is Frenchie, aka Louis the French Monette, and you are listening to the brand new show on the Schmoes of the North family banner. All right, so this is Snarks Midlife Crisis. On with me is the Mr. Snark himself, Mr. Rob. How you doing?
Hello, bonjour, Frenchie. Comment ça va?
Ça va très bien. Je savais pas que tu parlais français, mon cher.
Oh my God. Come on.
All right, and someone's gonna just stare and be like, "When I speak in French, it's Tamika. How are you?"
Hey y'all, I'm from Georgia.
All right. Yes, you are. That being said, to explain a bit what is going on here, this is our brand new show, episode 1 on Snark's midlife crisis. It's simple. I contacted Snark. He's been following us for a long time. And we also did a podcast show together. I love what he did. So I was like, you know what? We got to start a show together. And he said, hey, instead of buying a car, instead of buying, a brand new house, go get an 18-year-old girlfriend, I'm going to start a podcast for his midlife crisis. And this is why we're here today. All right. So, Snark, could you talk about a bit the concept of the show, also what I just said?
Sure. Hi, everybody. So when we were talking about what would be the concept of a show, eventually I just listed off that, what would a 46-year-old white guy in the middle of nowhere want to talk about? And I was considering, movies and stuff. I don't really watch enough. I don't really go out very much. And now that you can't or whatever, you're stuck here. So one thing I can do is listen to more music. Thing is that I don't listen to any new music. And you keep listening to the same songs from the year 2000 and down, you start to realize that you are missing out on 15 years worth of music. And I want to start this journey by listening to everything that I've missed. Most of the stuff that we'll listen to and talk about, I have never heard before. I've heard the names. I've heard of them, I guess. I've just not one note. So I think it'd be interesting to see how my perspective of music would relate to brand new stuff today.
Yeah, and so basically we'll be following, and the viewers as well will be following your journey on discovering new music and expanding your horizons, which can lead some really interesting and funny moments, because God knows we don't understand sometimes. I'm in the same boat. With certain music, I'm like, but why is this popular, right? So trying to understand that is a whole different thing than actually being there, right? All right. So that being said, you chose, because you're the one who's choosing the subject. Says, hey, it's your journey, right? And I was not expecting this. And when you told me, I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to listen to this shit, because I'm in the same spot as you. Is BTS, the Korean pop group, and we'll also talk about the boy bands itself of the past and today. Compare them a bit. You ready, my man?
Oh, I'm ready. Oh,
all right,
I'm ready.
Okay. And Tamika, I'm going to drop you out. By the way, stick around. There's something called Tamika's Perspective. You're not going to want to miss it. And Tamika, I'll bring you in, but I'm not going to let you know I'm bringing you in for Tamika's Perspective. So be ready. Listen.
You wicked Frenchman.
Yeah. All right. So look, first of all the 20 years you've missed, why BTS? Why start with them?
Because they were on a commercial. I guess it was a commercial for the New Year's Eve party or whatever was going down. There was a blah, 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 and BTS. And I go, oh, I heard that name BTS before. Didn't know what it was. And then so I looked into it, and it says one of their songs has 500 million listens on Spotify right now. I was like, oh, I guess other people have heard of this and stuff. I have my 46-year-old head in the sand for the last, I don't know how many years, listening to Radiohead. But I guess it's time to see what else I can listen to. what I'm hoping is that by the end of this, I'll have started listening to new music that I'll have actual songs that I'll want to get back to, not just bubblegum throwaway stuff. I'm hoping that there's going to be something that sticks. And I'm going to try and I'm going to go into every album and every singer or every band with an open mind for sure. I grew up listening to rock music, but also pop music. I grew up in the 80s, so we had a lot of bubblegummy stuff that I still enjoy. So there shouldn't be any reason why I can't enjoy today's stuff.
Exactly, and like there's a lot of things that the messages, the angst, the hope, they translate. Just things evolve, right? It brings a whole new technology, but sometimes the message is always the same. Depends. Certain things I'm sure we're gonna be like, oh no, there's no message to that. It's just wobbly music. But when it came to
spoilers,
when it comes to K-pop, I saw them on Ellen once. I mean, I know it's a thing. I have a couple of friends that could. I think there's even one of them has a Korean pop tattoo on them. So, and she does not understand Korean. That being said, it's a thing, and I always been very interested in the phenomenon of having a music that is a very small part of the world, the language wise, right? And reaching a certain, popularity in countries, they probably don't even know what the fuck they're saying. And for me, that relates that it's a message, it's a vibe, it's a tonality that everyone can catch on. And you don't really matter if you don't understand them fully. Music can touch you in other ways than just understanding the lyrics. And I'm very music oriented. Me, except if you're talking about Metallica, I don't really care about lyrics. But I really care about the feeling it gives me and the journey it brings to my mind. Like I have like images in my mind sometimes. I can just close my eyes, listen to this really weird down tempo type of music, and it has a cinema in my head, and that's what I'm looking for in music. And that's what I said to myself, maybe this will do, because the words gonna go into melodies, right? And what was did you have the same vision of why it was popular in the world, even though people don't understand it, or do you have a different take?
Absolutely, I know exactly why this stuff is popular. When we start talking about the album, or we'll get into it, but this stuff, can I say, should be very familiar for people over here. A lot of people don't know the words to songs. A lot of people just like humming along, and that's fine. You don't need to know the words to get what the songs want to be about. So these songs are very, very familiar. When we talk about this album, I'll go into a little further depth, but there's no reason that somebody from Korea or someone from America or someone from Japan shouldn't recognize this type of music.
Yeah, and it's funny, if we're going to really what BTS is and what I listened to the albums a bit, and some of it was background. I was working at the same time in the buses as well, and some of that stuck to me too. And I realized that compared to like the past pop or past boy bands, right, it changes a lot. I think they understand that maybe people don't understand their words necessarily, but the drops and the vibes and even the background in the music really, plays around and brings you to their journey. And they really have interesting effects. So it is boy band popish, but it's not generic anymore, right? There's actually almost like a certain stylistic choice that really is artistic at the same time. Personally, when it comes to the instrumentals of K-pop or BTS, and I was not expecting that. I was expecting very, one-dimensional poppy, catchy, and a bit cheesy, if you let me. And it wasn't that.
Well, not all of it was that.
Most is not that. There is exceptions.
There's some that is very, very much that, though, and that's what I'm sure that's what makes it popular, because it has that familiar. That cheese sells. Cheese is fine. There's nothing wrong with cheese, especially if you're now a brand and stuff like that. These guys had to make lots of money. They were sitting around not doing anything for a couple months, so they put together this album. A couple, there's I'm gonna say a couple songs I do like. There's good songs on here, and then there's a couple that
there's one Disease, I think it's called, on the B album. It has this like almost ominous feel, but sticking with pop, right? But what I mean by cheesy, there is cheese in this one, but it doesn't feel as cheesy as like I listened to the Backstreet Boys albums a bit to see a couple of songs. Boy, there's some I'm like, skip. I get this is bad. Like if I can like replay it physically, it's like. You know, and I don't feel that in the K-pop. There's still a certain edge to it, where this is just flower, roses, and finger pointing, right? So it's not. The cheese has evolved, I find.
Oh, sure, yeah. It's some aged cheese here. They do screw around with the formula a little bit. It's supposed to be 5. There's supposed to be 5. They put 7 in here. They try and get everybody to sing. Of course, I couldn't really differentiate between who was doing what, because I didn't watch any videos. I put the album on first. I let the album stand on its own before I watched the video.
You see, I haven't watched the video. Is the video cheesy as fuck though? Yeah. Is it tolerable? Like, would you go back to it cheesy, or it's like, I'm gonna stick to the audio cheesy?
I wouldn't want to watch it again.
Okay.
It's not for me. It's for your typical 12, 13, 14-year-olds. They're still, all this music is still aimed at the same demographic, right?
Yeah.
And it's not like as the case with some people with NSYNC or some people with Backstreet Boys, they can look back at it nostalgically and stuff like that. It's gonna feel a lot better and stuff like that to them, because it's gonna feel familial, and this is what it sounded like when they were growing up and stuff like this. I'm sure it's gonna happen to the same people today and stuff like that. But that video was strange. Okay, it's not what it's definitely not what I was expecting. I was expecting a boy band video. You get that, but I was when I was thinking about K-pop, I was thinking like there's something else to it. You know what I mean? It's not just Korean words. I figured there's got to be a reason why K-pop is popular. That they do something with the beat, that they do something with maybe the synthesizers or something like that. I didn't find any of that really. What I found listening to B was that it was a typical American album that was made using Korean lyrics, which is good. There's maybe my favorite part of that entire thing was some of the just voices. When we watched the video, when I was going into this thing thinking of, okay, there's going to be the bad boy, there's going to be the deep voiced older guy with a beard or something like that, and then there's going to be the 3 other dudes. That wasn't it.
No.
These guys all are very basically interchangeable. They're the same person. I couldn't believe it. And the dances they do are just Michael Jackson dances. That's it.
All right. So that being said, out of nowhere, Tamikas' perspective on what we talked about just before.
Oh, yes. Hi. Okay. So
we've been talking for 14 minutes. You have time to assimilate. So far, what do you think?
Yeah. Yes. We're talking about BTS. Dynamite.
Oh.
Right? Like, oh.
Okay, so why do you think K-pop is so popular all over the world, even though people don't fucking understand what they're saying?
Well, I agree. Maybe it is the tempo. I mean, for Americans, maybe it's the tempo, like the upbeat tempo. Maybe we're used to it with our American boy bands like Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, boo.
Hey. Okay, we're
Oh,
gonna have to put you on later. But okay, but that's the thing. American beats. So you're saying American beats is universal for the world because the whole world loves BTS. Brazil, France, it's
mhm.
all over, right? So is it because it sounds so American that it can be applied everywhere and it's kind of non-offensive? That's what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah, in a sense. And I think that some of the tempos sound the same too. It's like a little bit of a upbeat. There has to be some type of scientific logic to music and tempo and your
Mm.
mood and the way it makes you feel. So
So you're
that's what I'm
saying
thinking.
the man controls everything. So that's it for Tamika's perspective. I'll be right back. I'll pop her up from time to time, get her by surprise, and see what blurps out first before she makes sense. All right. All right. So let's continue the conversation. Sorry.
Sure. Well, yeah, to piggyback on what she was saying about the popularity of it worldwide and stuff like that, I consider this stuff to be like the McDonald's of music.
Well said.
It's going to be the same everywhere you go. You buy a quarter pounder in Winnipeg, it's going to be the same as in Montreal. It'll be the same as in New York City. It'll be the same as in London. It'll be the same. It's the same everywhere you go. Now, I don't blame people for liking that. Some people, their favorite restaurant is McDonald's. It's not mine. I can't stand McDonald's. But no, but I understand why it's popular because it's just that same old highly produced pop music that people have been enjoying forever, with just slightly nuanced for today, and that's fun.
And a question for you though, because like let's say Backstreet Boys, same rule applies, right? It's very non-offensive. It's very you can apply it everywhere. But as much as they were big in America, they didn't do worldwide stuff like BTS and K-pop is doing, and certain modern pop is doing. So what's the difference between what happened then and what is the phenomenon now as K-pop?
I'm pretty sure it was. I'm pretty sure Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, I know the new kids, they were international. They were everywhere. It was a huge deal. This has always been a huge deal. It's a huge money-making production. It will never go away. It's always going to get nuanced to something. There was a lull for a while, and then, One Dimension, I guess, came out with the Brits and stuff like that. From the early 2000s to 2010 or so, there was that lull. But it's always been the same formula, the same, approachable music. There's nothing challenging about it. It'll have your little speedy songs. It'll have your little acoustic-based ballads that every girl can swoon to. But they weren't. They haven't changed anything about it. It's just. I think there's so many new music fans that have started with K-pop and J-pop before that.
I missed that boat. I heard about J-pop after J-pop was a thing. I was like, "Whoa, really? That exists, right?" And then K-pop is like, what's next? U-pop?
Ukrainian pop.
And I'm part Ukrainian, so I'm just saying.
From Manitoba, it's half the population.
Hey, long live Peteches and Buck.
The pierogi boys coming up next. It's gonna be sweet.
No. If you want to say it normally, you have to say Peteche.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, just say. All right.
Halachi kids is the name.
Yeah. So look. Now you've listened to K-pop. You listen, you already know the past things. We'll talk about that a bit later.
Yeah.
But let's say the 15 to 18-year-old Snark, split himself, and there's one in today's age and one in past age. Which one you think would be hardcore more into that kind of music? The younger you now or the younger you in the past?
The younger me would hate the new me for listening to this in the first place.
You failed me, future self. You have failed me.
Oh yeah, no, I failed him long ago. I'm used to that. I have no problem with that. Yeah, no. As I've grown older is when I've become more tolerant of all kinds of music, I guess, except for country music, which I do not consider music. I consider an offense against the entire world.
I'm not the biggest country. Okay, we're gonna have to talk about on another episode. Okay.
Yeah, you can make me listen to it on this show. I'll give you an honest opinion of all these countries on.
The shortest episode of Snarks Midlife Crisis. It sucks. End.
Well, yeah, it's the same. It'll be the same thing or whatever. Country music is just pop music today. That's it.
All right. Hey, by the way, hello, Jay. Thank you very much for watching. By the way, if you don't know who he is the guy, the voice for Speaking of Schmodown, which also is produced by me, and I do pop up from time to time.
Oh, maybe I shouldn't have called him a bragger. Guys, let's get back into
boom, and I'm back. All right,
drinking up here.
All right, yeah. So carry on.
Tamika.
Yes.
You've listened to Dynamite, I guess, by these guys,
yes.
right?
Yes, I have.
The big song, huge song. Would you, when you grew up a Backstreet Boys fan, would you, what would you consider?
Frenchie's back.
Oh my God, he was listening in. Oh.
You just drop I'm scared of Frenchie. You just drop. Go ahead. I'll answer her question. You're gonna say.
Hey, I'm back.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
What would you consider the best Backstreet Boys song? Like, are you a deep cuts girl? Like, do you like I like the stuff that you didn't even hear and stuff like that, or were you more like the Backstreet's Back kind of stuff?
Yeah, that's the first song that came to my head, to be honest, and it's playing in my head now. So thank you very much for that constantly banging in my head. And the music video, like it's all coming back to me. Oh my gosh!
Isn't that a
Celine Dion?
Okay. Isn't that a Backstreet Boy song too? It's all coming back to me.
That's Celine Dion.
Oh, that is. You see, this is how my own.
You guys don't even know your own people. What in the world is going on with this show?
Who was the first president of the U.S.?
What, George Washington?
The first one?
Yeah, oh my God.
The second one.
John Adams.
Oh, shush. You know what, Tamika? And I killed Tamika. All right. So that being said, I've been listening also to the boy bands, right? Since we are talking about pop music, and me too. The younger me would listen to it like on the side, but I was also listening to, Pantera, Slayer, and all the good stuff, right? And also some iPhone 65, I'm blue, da-ba-dee-da-ba-die. So I had my corny sides. But listening to BTS, if I was younger, oh man, I would not have wanted to tell it. And now I don't mind saying it, right? But what was your go-to boy band things? Because I have a list right here. I'll name you a couple of them. Tell me if you know them, and tell me on a scale of 1 to 10 how bad or good in your opinion. Yep. Backstreet Boys.
Bad.
Okay, on a 1 to 10. 1 sucks. 10 is like
3.
All right. NSYNC.
They were better. I'll give them a 4.
All right. Take That.
Oh, that's one with Robbie Williams, so that one's going to trump stuff. So I'll say 5.
5. All right. Boyzone.
Never heard it.
5.
Is that the band or is that number 5? Is there a band?
Probably both, but it's the band 5.
Never heard of it.
Because I don't just randomly say numbers like 12, 14,
Same. Never think.
Westlife.
Westlife, I've heard of at least. I've never heard them.
East 17.
No. All these bands have numbers in them.
I know, right? It's like the automatically generated a name and just add 24 to it. So yeah, we have Kangaroo 24 as a new group. It makes no sense sometimes. No Mercy.
No idea.
Another Level.
Nope.
The Hanson brothers.
Oh, they are quite low. But to be fair, Bob can be an earworm for sure. But it doesn't mean I appreciate them for it. I'll give them a goddamn 2.
Okay, New Kids on the fucking Block.
If I can give less than 0 for those lyrics, I do it.
All right, and what about New Kids on the fucking Block?
I just said that's nothing.
Oh, that was for them. Okay. Oh boy, I thought you were talking about the Hansons. Boys to Men.
Oh, they're great. 7.
And 98 Degrees.
They're not really a boy band though. It's not like they were manufactured and stuff like that. They were like 4 guys and each had a role and stuff like that. But these guys weren't put together or anything like that. These were 4 friends and stuff. So.
Well, look, it's R&B, but in a formulaic way that like is you have that one guy that sings higher, the other guy that's basically useless and it just does like little noises. So it kind of is a boy band.
It's been that way since the beginning of music. If you go down, or not the beginning of music, but the beginning of rock and roll, since the 50s and stuff like that. Just doo-wop.
Yeah, true. It is true.
It's just done way better than any of those other bands that you were talking about.
All right. I don't know where the Tamikas perspective.
Yay, Tamika's here. Woo, woo, woo.
All the boy, you have 1 minute to let me know. 1 minute. It's a challenge, Tamika. Take it or leave it. 1 minute to say your favorite boy band that I named.
What, Backstreet Boys and Boys to Men? Well, I don't consider Boys to Men a boy band though. They're their own separate entity. They're like an R&B gods.
Do they shine? Do they shine?
Yeah, they shine. Have you seen the videos with the filter? And they're like, "Hey, baby, I'm here for you. I love you." You know, stuff like that. Ooh, yeah. I can't say about it.
I feel tingly inside. Why
you should feel tingly.
All right, your minute's over, Tamika. All right. Now, for you, you're learning this music again. You're discovering it.
Yeah.
How long do you think the fad is going away now, or how long is K-pop going to continue? And what do you think, in your perspective, of what you understand since the ages, what is the maybe next type of pop to show up eventually?
This will always be popular. Maybe not K-pop. Maybe it'll switch back to something else. Maybe the English will think. Maybe the French. France has never really done one.
Yeah, but
it's all going to sound like people who smoke cigarettes and eat poutine, though, right?
The French from France music is so snobby sometimes. There's a really good stuff, but to have pop, you got
maybe
mash me my boots. Fuck. There's a couple of pop stuff, right? But it's not ear catchy. It's very artistic. And the French from Quebec, well, we just have no budget and we do the stupidest music for the most half of the time, except for the Cowboy Fringant. That's about it. And Jean Leloup. But no.
Mitsu as well.
Oh, you went Mitsu?
Mon cowboy.
Okay. How that you don't even live in Quebec? I know there is a Quebec population where you are probably, but how the hell do you know all this French music?
I watch much music. I watch it all the time. And when I go to Quebec, there was Music Plus and stuff like that. But Bubba and Monka Boy would play on regular rotation on Much Music every day.
Damn. Okay. Well, you can learn Tamika a thing or two because you know what? I would have to send you some French music, Tamika, and just see the vibe, because technically it would be the same thing as like BTS, right? You don't understand what the fuck they're saying, but you can still get the vibe, get the meaning. So when I was sending French music to Tamika, she doesn't know what the hell is going on. So I wonder if it's gonna vibe with her.
I gotta say, when I was like, okay, like when I saw B and stuff like that and all the track lists, it's all the track lists are in English. So that's what I was expecting. And then the first song was I think Life Goes On, which was a big hit for them as well, I suppose. And it's like, okay, it's a typical pop song, but in Korean. Okay, so I get it. It's like, I don't understand how teenage girls in America are going around singing this song and stuff like that, unless a lot of teenage girls in America are really picking up Korean because of it, which is fine. But I was in Sweden for a little while, and I would go down into my buddy's kitchen. And they had the radio playing. There was a Swedish hip hop band, and it sounded like the Beastie Boys. So that's kind of the thing I was hoping for.
Whoa. Okay, that was unexpected. Okay, say that again. Swedish.
There's like the Swedish hip hop band, and it was just like listening. It reminded me of the Beastie Boys, but everything's in Swedish. So that's the kind of stuff I was hoping to hear. As soon as I started listening to B or whatever, it's like, okay, this is all gonna be in Korean. I'm gonna get this now. Unfortunately, it was not like those Swedish Beastie Boys at all. It started to become very formulaic after the first one. There's they had a terrible song on there. It's called "Fly Me to My Room" or something like that. It was awful. Then they had a song called "Blue and Gray," and it was an acoustic song. And it's like, okay, yeah, this is definitely following a formula. I get it. I understand. I'm going to listen to this whole thing anyway. Thing is, about going into listening to this album is 30 minutes long.
Yeah.
And one of the songs, there's 8 songs on this goddamn thing. One of them is a 3-minute song of them yapping. It's called Skip. It's just them talking.
I know. It's like, there's 7 songs. They're very short, but at least it kind of still feels complete, because after listening to 7 songs, I was like, okay, that was enough variety and good production for me to be like satisfied. I don't think I would have taken another half an hour of that shit though.
No, I was happy that it was only half an hour. I just don't like, if I was say one of my kids or whatever comes home with this B album, just paid $22 or something. I know, dating ourselves by saying buying albums. Comes home with this B album. It's like, oh, Dad, can I have this money for this 35, or can I get $35 to go get this B album? It's like, okay, all the kids are listening to it. Great, here you go. And it comes home and it's 30 minutes. I was like, what are you paying for? What is going on in here?
All right, so that being said, I actually requested Tamika to listen to a BTS song on the fly. We're going to close this episode with her final thoughts on Tamika's perspective. So, Tamika, what was the song you listened to?
Yay, I'm back. Hey. It's like Pee-wee's Playhouse. Ah! I listened to Black Swan by BTS, and it had like a modern hip hop vibe to it. It had like really heavy tempo beats, and I was really jamming to it. I don't know what they were saying, but the music video seemed a bit dark. It's like black and white, and then somebody was spinning, and it was like doing this, and I was like, oh, this seems serious. I was like, okay.
And I'm curious, Tamika, will you give them a chance to be on your playlist to understand them and listen to them more, or that was a cool but pass?
Yeah, I'm not really right now. My genre is alternative rock, maybe some R&B, and some other stuff. I like some country music.
Oh!
Since we were talking about country music,
the war will start.
I like the old country music. I don't like the new stuff.
Okay, well, in that case, I'll rephrase it. Is it yay or a nay for Tamika?
For BTS, I don't touch BTS. I don't want their fans coming after me.
Okay,
so change the world. They do stuff. I don't know. No, thumbs up. BTS all the time. Yeah. I don't have time for that drama. No.
Next, you got hate mail. Then you got
that's like Beyonce with her Beehive. I don't mess with BTS. No.
All right, so that was Tamika's perspective. Again, thank you very much for your little insights and your little quips. Always appreciated. You are a sister from Georgia to me. All right. So again, is there any final words, final things you want to wrap up on BTS boy bands for episode 1 of Snarks Midlife Crisis?
Sure. The album on the whole is exactly what you'd expect. There's nothing out of the ordinary on it at all. I was surprised. I did like a couple of songs. There's a song Telepathy I liked. There's a song called A Stay, I believe it's called. But, when it comes to a song like Dynamite, like their big hits and stuff like that, you can listen to Dynamite and you already have already. Basically just Uptown Funk by Bruno Mars.
Yeah, that's the freaking song I was looking for. I was like, what does it sound like? And you're right, it does.
It's the same formula. It's different, but it's the same formula. And with the little beat draws and the horns and stuff like that. Oh, yeah. This thing is, it was put together by guys that knew that they were doing. And I wish the song would have just been in Korean more than it was in English. It made no sense. I hated the video. Am I upset that I listened to the album? No, I learned something, and now I can say I have an opinion on BTS instead of no opinion. A lot of people, I guess, just won't like my opinion of it.
All right, and my Mr. Snark is BTS yay or nay?
Oh, so it's a nay. Oh, yeah.
It's a nay. All right. Okay, so again, thank you beautiful people for listening to the first episode of Snarks Midlife Crisis. By the way, if you love what you see and you love our other content, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to do the notifications. And this show will be either a bi-monthly or monthly show for now. So stay tuned. In around 2 weeks to a month, we'll have a new episode of, second episode of Snarks Midlife Crisis. All right, so say bye to the beautiful people, Rob.
Adieu.
Adieu, bonsoir.
Oh my
Bye.